yesterday? Yes, Yesha. Yesha, you want to ask something?
Ma'am, yesterday we studied chapter. No, ma'am. Shall I give the introduction?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, beta.
Yesterday we learned molecular basis of inheritance. In that we studied experiment of Griffith, experiment of Avery, MacLeod, and McCarty, and experiment of Harshey and Chase. And then we studied that why DNA is the genetic material, why not protein or any other.
Great. So, today we will continue our discussion further and we will see how DNA structure is described by Watson and Crick. You know, when I told you about DNA yesterday, I told you that two hurdles were there to discuss the structure of DNA. One is to find out DNA is made up of what? DNA is made up of what? And second, hurdle was to find out uh, how actually the chemical substances, that is nitrogenous bases and everything, arranged to give us a DNA structure. Okay, so we will learn about the first half yesterday. We learned that in case of DNA structure, the composition of DNA structure or nucleic acid, that is deoxyribose nucleic acid and ribonucleic acid, is nitrogenous bases, phosphate, and the pentose sugar. But today we will learn how they are arranged. Okay, so this is the part we already completed yesterday. And as you said that you don't have any doubt, I'm moving ahead. Now we will talk about how the structure of DNA is formed and what is the connection between each of the components. So here you can see that adenine, that is nitrogenous base purine, when it is combining with deoxyribose sugar, it will give deoxy as adenosine. Similarly, there will be production of deoxyguanosine, deoxycytidine, and deoxythymidine. So all these are combinations of nitrogenous bases and pentose sugar. Can you identify from this diagram that which carbon atom is bounding with the nitrogenous base? Can you find out from this diagram? Is the screen visible? If we start numbering, yesterday when I taught you the structure of pentose sugar, I told you we always start numbering from here, isn't it? So this will be the fourth carbon and this will be the fifth carbon. So which carbon of deoxyribose or ribose sugar is connected with the nitrogenous bases, class?
Carbon.
First
carbon, and it is in the bond with this nitrogen atom of imidazole ring. In case of adenine and guanine, it is in bond with the nitrogen of imidazole ring, and in case of cytosine and thymine, it is in bond with the hexagonal ring, that is the heterocyclic hexagonal ring. We should not call it by any means benzene ring, because benzene में 6 के 6 carbon रहते हैं. Not all 4 of these are carbon. Okay, so this is what one connection I wish to make. Here it will be very clearly depicted to you. Carbon number 1 is connected with the nitrogen and carbon number 5 of pentose sugar is connected with the phosphate. So when this deoxyadenosine is connected with single phosphate, we call it deoxyadenosine monophosphate. and we call it nucleotide. So what is nucleoside? Nucleoside means pentose sugar and nitrogenous base. Okay, so what is the bond present there? It is simple type of glycosidic linkage that is connecting the pentose sugar and the nitrogenous bases, and this nucleoside is in bond with the phosphate to produce nucleotide. Anyone any doubt here? In entrance examination, they may ask you the question that which carbon atom is in bond with which atom of nitrogenous base. So you should be able to say that the first carbon and the fifth carbon. Anyone any doubt over here?
No, ma'am.
So let's move ahead. So polynucleotide strand. Now see, if we look into the hierarchy of DNA structure, we can see the smallest unit is nucleoside. Now nucleoside is when added with phosphate, it will produce nucleotide. Now all these nucleotides are in connection with each other to form a polynucleotide strand. That means you can see this is the nitrogenous base connected with the first carbon of the pentose sugar. Okay, and this is the phosphate connected to the third carbon of pentose sugar, and another phosphate is connected to the fifth carbon of pentose sugar. So in every pentose sugar molecule, phosphate is attached to the two positions. One is at third carbon and other is at the fifth carbon. So if like this phosphate, let us consider about this phosphate. This is phosphate number 1. अगर हम इसको phosphate number 1 पकड़े, this will be phosphate number 2 and this will be phosphate number 3. So here again will be phosphate number 4. So what typical thing you can observe is the phosphate number 2 will have two types of connection. It is connected with the third carbon of one deoxyribose sugar and fifth carbon of another deoxyribose sugar. Same here you can see phosphate number 3 is having connection with the third carbon and the fifth carbon. Is this part clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
So now next important thing that I wish to mention over here is DNA is double stranded. It's a double stranded structure, not a single stranded structure. So this structure is applicable to the one strand. If you look into it, other strand will have exactly opposite structure here. The orientation of other strand will be exactly opposite. Here the oxygen of pentose sugar will be oriented in other direction. And so what will happen? What will happen over here is at this carbon the base will be attached. So this is carbon number 1, 2. This is carbon number 3. Here the phosphate will be attached. And here will be carbon number 5 where the another phosphate will be attached. This phosphate will be attached to the third carbon of next one. And here will be presence of base. Is it clear to everyone how the two strands are arranged?
Yes, ma'am.
That's why two strands of DNA are called antiparallel. What do we mean by the terminology parallel? Parallel means something, two straight lines which doesn't meet. So actually DNA strands are composed of two strands which never meet with each other directly. But why anti-parallel? Because if one is moving in this direction, other is moving in opposite direction. So their hands are anti-parallel. This is what is parallel. This is what is anti-parallel. So that is how DNA strand is arranged. I must mention here, in many of the NCERT textbook, if you go to this chapter, this structure of DNA is mentioned in a wrong way. उन्होंने दोनों स्ट्रैंड को पैरेलल ड्रॉ किया है and that's a mistake. So I request everyone to go through their NCERT textbook and see if this type of image is available or not. If not, then correct the image. क्योंकि आप फिर वही बुक में से पढ़ के वो गलत आप एग्जाम में लिखोगे. Can you please check? Are all of you are sitting with your textbook available with you?
Yes, ma'am.
So let's now talk about the structure of DNA. I told you like it was a big challenge for scientists to understand this arrangement. ये जो arrangement हमने इतनी फटाफट में पढ़ ली कि carbon 1 of this is connected with carbon 2 of that. It was not that easy for scientists to find out. Why? At that time, electron microscope was not discovered and developed, and there is a method that should be there by which 3D structure of DNA needs to be visible. So actually, Watson and Crick came forward, and they are actually famous for this project. But another person was there whose name is not mentioned. Actually, उन्होंने ये discovery पहले ही कर दी थी, and they took the idea of using X-ray crystallography from a lady called Rosalind Franklin. This lady was previously working on X-ray crystallography as well as structure of DNA. They took this idea from Rosalind Franklin. इसलिए कई बार बोला जाता है कि Watson and Crick ने ये idea चोरी किया था. And it's very unfortunate that by the time they got the Nobel Prize, the Rosalind Franklin died because she was suffering from cancer due to her constant exposure to the dangerous rays like X-ray. And there is a rule for Nobel Prize, मरने के बाद किसी को Nobel Prize नहीं मिलता. So that's why the Nobel Prize went to Watson and Crick. Now, here two polynucleotide strands are coiled together to form a double helical structure. So these are Watson and Crick. So this is the double helical structure. So DNA structure is made up of polynucleotide molecule. So basic backbone is made up of sugar and phosphate, and like the inner part is made up of, or the ladder of a stair is made up of nitrogenous bases. Let me represent this with a very small kind of background. Just imagine that these stars are the pentose sugar. So what are these stars? They are the pentose sugar. Remember, the orientation of the stars are different. So if we consider these stars as pentose sugar, and phosphates as the hearts which are connecting to the each and every pentose sugar, then now I hope the idea is clear to you. The main backbone of the structure is prepared by the pentose sugar and the phosphate. Now, who is preparing the steps of this ladder? The steps of this ladder is prepared by the nitrogenous bases added to the structure. So each of these deoxyribose sugars are having nitrogenous bases attached to them, and there is a pairing between nitrogenous bases. For example, there will be a pairing between these two, So we need to understand that DNA strand is complementary. So what do we mean by this word complementary? Why complementary? Because if in one strand, if like in one strand I have A, in other strand there will be T, and this A and T will be connected with each other via means of hydrogen bonding. I hope you know what is hydrogen bonding. You must have studied it in chemistry. Hydrogen bonding is a weak bonding. We actually call it bond, but it's a kind of interaction. So the number of hydrogen bond between adenine and thymine is 2, and cytosine and guanine is 3. So अगर हम डीएनए को एक लैडर से कंप्लीट करें, कंपेयर करें, एक ऐसा लैडर है डीएनए अपना, सो इसके जो बैकबोन है दैट विल बी मेड अप ऑफ फॉस्फेट एंड पेंटोज शुगर, और उसके जो स्टेप्स होंगे, द स्टेप्स ऑफ द लैडर विल बी मेड अप ऑफ द nitrogenous bases and the hydrogen bond between them. अब ये लैडर एक हार्ड 3 डायमेंशनल स्ट्रक्चर होता है. इमेजिन अ लैडर लाइक अ मेड अप ऑफ रबर. फिर आप उस लैडर को क्लॉकवाइज घुमा दो, यू विल गेट द डीएनए स्ट्रक्चर. अगर आप उस लैडर को क्लॉकवाइज घुमा देते हो, देन यू विल गेट द डीएनए स्ट्रक्चर. Is this part clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
So let's have a look into the structure of DNA and start understanding from the image itself. So here is the structure which is describing it beautifully. You can see that the basic part. Now this is like twisted to give you the DNA structure. Now in DNA structure, a few most important details I wish to share here is, in DNA there are 2 types of depressions. This type of depression where the depression is quite deep is known as major groove, and this type of depression jahan pe depression is not as much as major groove is, we call it minor groove. We call it what? Minor groove. दूसरी क्या डिटेल हमें जाननी है? इन पर टर्न, मतलब समझो आपके पास एक कॉइल है, यू आर टर्निंग इट वंस, सो एक टर्न टू कंप्लीट वन टर्न, सो पर टर्न there will be 10 base pairs. How many base pairs? 10 base pairs. Now each turn, एक यहां से शुरू होके वापस से ये पॉइंट पे आने को हम बोलेंगे टर्न. So per turn will be 34 angstrom. So we will consider that each base pair occupy 3.4 angstrom. And the width of DNA column. So let us talk about the width. This is the width. This width is 20 angstrom. इसकी जो width है that is 20 angstrom. Understood everyone?
मैम ये 4 टॉन 10 बेस पर है, मतलब 10 बेस मतलब G और C, वैसे जो पैर है ऐसी
हाँ
10
ऐसे मतलब 10 20 बेस पेयर, मतलब 10 इस स्ट्रैंड में 10 उस स्ट्रैंड में, तो 10 20 बेसेस होंगे बट 10 बेस पेयर भी है.
ओके मैम.
Is this part clear to everyone? See, structure of DNA is something biologists should have a very clear idea about. Otherwise, you will find it difficult क्योंकि इसके तुरंत बाद हम जो पढ़ना स्टार्ट करेंगे that is replication of DNA. So if structure of DNA is not clear to you, you will find it very difficult to understand the replication of DNA. Now, I just wish to talk about a few very important aspects over here. A few very important characters I wish to focus on. One of these characters is, we call that DNA strands are anti-parallel. I already described why it is called anti-parallel, क्योंकि इनकी orientation opposite होती है. अगर ये वाले strand में पेंटोस शुगर ऐसे oriented है, तो ये वाले strand में it will be oriented like this. But then why what do we mean to indicate here by 5 prime and 3 prime? It means in this pentose sugar, DNA strand की जो last pentose sugar होगा, if like in that pentose sugar, consider if like let us change the direction. In the last pentose sugar of this strand and this strand, in this strand, the last phosphate is added to the 5th carbon. That's why we write 5 prime over. और देखना यहाँ जो बेस शुगर होगा उसके केस में लास्ट फॉस्फेट विच इज फ्री फॉस्फेट, नॉट बाउंड विथ एनीवन. क्यों ये फ्री फॉस्फेट है? क्योंकि ये लास्ट पेंटोस शुगर है, इसके आगे कोई है ही नहीं, तो इसका ये वाला फॉस्फेट फ्री रह गया ना. इट इज अटैच्ड टू ओनली वन पेंटोस शुगर, दूसरा है ही नहीं इसके साथ अटैच होने के लिए. सेम इज हियर, इट विल हैव थर्ड वाले कार्बन में इसके पास क्या रहेगा? फ्री फॉस्फेट. It is exactly opposite here. यहाँ इनके केस में थर्ड वाला फॉस्फेट फ्री होगा and in this case it will be fifth वाला phosphate that will be free. So that is why we call it anti-parallel, क्योंकि इनके जो directions होते हैं that is opposite. अगर ये वाला strand मेरा 3 prime to 5 prime हुआ, तो ये वाला strand will be 3 prime to 5 prime. The direction of free phosphate is exactly opposite. So it can come as a 2 marker that why DNA strand is called anti-parallel. You need to draw a rough diagram like this and mention here like this. Mention here like the last deoxyribose sugar of this strand, consider A strand. The free phosphate is attached to the 5th carbon. So that's why it is called 5 prime. In this case, it is attached to the 3rd carbon. And as strand is anti-parallel, so the orientation of phosphate sugar is pentose sugar is different. So it will be 3 prime to 5 prime. Is this part clear to everyone?
Yes ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So only 2-3 students. For 2-3 students, this is one property of DNA strand. We can call that DNA strand is anti-parallel. Now let us talk about the other properties. We can call DNA strand polar also. Why we call it polar? क्योंकि इसके poles opposite होते हैं. That means अगर इसको हम 5 dash नहीं बोलते, we use the term 5 prime. So 5 prime to 3 prime, 3 prime to 5 prime. So as it is having a separate polarity, we will call it as a polar molecule also. We will say always that it is polar. Second thing is DNA molecules are acidic. Why do you think it should be acidic? What do you think? The presence of what group makes it acidic? Let me tell you. The presence of phosphate is making it acidic. कौन इसको acidic बना रहा है? Phosphate इसको acidic बना रहा है. That's why DNA is it's negatively charged and it is moving towards positive electron during the process. Next important thing about DNA that I wish to share is DNA strands are complementary. So what do we mean by this complementary? Complementary means अगर एक स्ट्रैंड में एडेनिन हुआ तो दूसरे स्ट्रैंड में it will be always thymine, and if one strand it is cytosine, in other it will be guanine. Why do you think adenine and guanine or thymine and cytosine should not pair? क्या होता अगर एडेनिन गुआनिन या थायमिन साइटोसिन में पेयरिंग होती तो what would have been happened? Anyone any idea? Yes बेटा.
मैम तो ऑपोजिट स्ट्रैंड नहीं बनता ना.
ऑपोजिट स्ट्रैंड कैसे नहीं बनते? दो स्ट्रैंड तो बन सकते हैं ना बेटा.
मैम पर ऑपोजिट नहीं बनेंगे ना. आपने कहा ना कि 5 डैश टू 3 डैश होगा, 3 डैश टू 5 डैश.
3 dash 5 dash is related to attachment of phosphate with the pentose sugar. उसके साथ नाइट्रोजनस बेस का क्या लेना देना बेटा? कंसीडर करो यहाँ पे A अटैच्ड है, यहाँ पे T है. T के जगह अगर G अटैच होता तो क्या फर्क पड़ता उसको? That will be attached to the carbon number 1 of the pentose sugar ना. ये भी कार्बन नंबर 1 ऑफ पेंटोस शुगर में अटैच्ड है. फॉस्फेट के साथ इसका कोई लेना देना ही नहीं है ना. If you can see the image,
हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड्स में डिफरेंस आता है.
1 point, very good. यहाँ आप देखो पेंटोस शुगर में फॉस्फेट जहाँ अटैच्ड है और नाइट्रोजनस बेसिस जहाँ अटैच है वो दो अलग जगह है बेटा. क्या फर्क पड़ता है? 1 point is said by her that it will have a problem with the formation of hydrogen bond. Any other idea anyone else is coming? Like it's coming into mind of anyone? बहुत simple question है. And I am expecting answer from a very simple part. Do you think अगर AG और TC पेयरिंग होता तो इसकी यूनिफॉर्म विड्थ होती? ये लेडर जैसे है. We told that this part is equal to 20 angstrom. Do you think अगर एडेनिन गुआनिन और साइटोसिन और थायमिन में पेयरिंग होती तो ये यूनिफॉर्म होता? क्लास
नो मैम.
फिर जहां एडेनिन गुआनिन है वो जगह एडेनिन इज डबल रिंग, गुआनिन इज आल्सो डबल रिंग, तो वो जगह क्या होती? फिर तो डीएनए का स्ट्रक्चर ऐसे होता ना. जहां जहां एडेनिन गुआनिन है वहां वहां ठीक, जहां जहां साइटोसिन था और सॉरी एडेनिन गुआनिन है वहां वहां ठीक, और जहां जहां साइटोसिन और थायमिन है वहां वहां स्ट्रॉन्ग. Do we have DNA structure like this? No, we have it like this. Uniform. It's have uniform width. So that is why Adenine and guanine, cytosine and thymine, they have specific pairing. It's not like anyone can pair with anyone. But the best part is if you know the DNA sequence of one strand, the other strand you can guess. अगर आपको पता है कि in one strand the sequence of DNA is ATCCGAT. Who is going to predict what will be the sequence in other strand? Isha, let's others speak. I want to hear from forum. There is Mishka, Jia, Kashish, Kausha, Krishank. Even Priyanshi is there. Mahi, Prachi, Siddhant. Can I hear from any one of you?
Ma'am, TAGG.
Very good, Jia. Then
C T A.
Great. Okay, so this is how like this benefit is enjoyed by during DNA replication also. You must have studied कि जब cell division होता है, chromosomes are separated by the splitting of centromere, and each chromosome is made up of two chromatids. उसमें से एक chromatid एक pole में जाता है, दूसरा chromatid दूसरे pole में जाता है. So at that time chromosome will have half of the DNA content, isn't it? But बाद में जब interphase होता है, उसकी copy होती है. So again chromatids will be converted into chromosomes. Same way, why that is possible? Because DNA strands are complementary. अगर आपके पास एक DNA strand available है, उसके सीक्वेंस को स्टडी करके आप कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री बेस डालते जाओ तो आपको दूसरी स्ट्रैंड भी मिल जाएगी. So biological system is also taking advantage of this. So what are the properties we studied? We studied that DNA strands are complementary. We studied that DNA strands are having polarity, that is 5' and 3', and they are anti-parallel. Anyone have any doubt regarding the part up to which I taught, beta?
No, ma'am.
So I wish to share something to you. Generally, the structure of DNA that we study, the structure of DNA that we study is the study of bDNA. bDNA is the DNA which was like discovered by Watson and Crick. But in like cell, there are other types of DNA existing. These are called aDNA and zDNA. Okay, so we need to know that structure of A and zDNA is quite different from bDNA. And it's not necessary always that the aDNA or bDNA will what I can say will coexist, not coexist. हो सकता है in the same cell, depending on situation, a DNA was obtaining B form. When the situation is changed, like pH is changed or the salt concentration of the same cell is changed, the DNA is responsible for changing its shape from B to X, A or Z. So I wish to talk to you about this. So now we are going to learn about the different types of DNA that exist. Okay. So let me share the screen. I hope the screen is visible, beta.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is structure of typical bDNA. We already studied, so I am not describing them all. You can understand in case of bDNA, as I mentioned already, that complementary base pair is there. it is a right-handed double helix. मतलब ये जो DNA का strand है, इसकी जो twisting होगी, that twisting will be clockwise. Twisting of that DNA is clockwise spiral. Okay. Now 10 base pair per turn है, and each base pair is having 0.34. मैंने angstrom में बोला था, this is nanometer, and each so complete rotation is अगर 0.34 को आप 10 से multiply करो, it will be 3.4 nanometer. Okay. Now this is the structure of BDNA. When this structure is existing in a cell, when there is plenty of water present, इसमें कोई भी unusual base sequence नहीं होता है. This is the ideal structure of DNA. Okay, it is the most stable structure of DNA also, but it doesn't exist always. Dreams always do not exist. We have like nightmares also. Same way, ADNA is also a right-handed double helix, but it is wider and flatter. How? In BDNA, there were 10 base pair per turn. Here we have 11 base pair per turn. And the angle of rotation is also a bit more tilted. Okay. When this is like observed, when there is dehydrating condition, cell में जब पानी की कमी हो, तब actually this ADNA form is exhibited. And let's now talk about the next type of DNA, that is zDNA. As I told you that at high salt concentration condition, zDNA is totally different from A and B, because it is having highest number of base pair and very deep minor grooves. Most important thing is it is a left-handed double helix. मतलब बाकी के DNA में if the turn and twist is in clockwise direction, in this it is anti-clockwise direction. So these are the three forms of DNA. The summary is mentioned here. I wish all of you to go through it for 1 minute and let me know if you have any doubt. So Deesh asked a very relevant question. He asked that how they calculated the length. Let me tell you, beta, the basic principle is of X-ray crystallography. So what is that? They make like crystals of DNA and let the X-rays fall on it. Depending on the deflection of X-rays, which are captured by a sensitive like system, they can predict the surface modification. For example, I will give you a very simple example of it. Consider करो आपके पास एक surface है, आप यहाँ normal light डाल रहे हो. अगर ये surface एक mirror है, the light will be reflected, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
But अगर consider करो मेरे पास एक ऐसी surface है, do you think there will be reflection of light?
No, ma'am.
So from the angle of incidence and the angle of emergence, they can identify about the surface, and they did the same. All light rays which were getting what I can say coming out after hitting the surface of DNA, they predicted angle of everything, and with the software they made X-ray crystallographic image of DNA. So that is a method they did, and while they used this method at that time only, based on the angle of deflection, they calculated. इन्होंने एक 3D model बनाया DNA का, which was visible, and then they calculated. ऑब्वियसली यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड कि जो 0.34 नैनोमीटर है, इसको कैलकुलेट करने के लिए कोई स्केल अवेलेबल ही नहीं है। फिर आपकी माइंड में आएगा कि मैम ये कैसे किया होगा, कैसे इनके पास स्केल नहीं है तो कैसे इन्होंने मापा कि ये 0.34 ही होगा। What they did is they understand the magnification of image. This is a very interesting question you asked, Nish. I am very happy for that. Consider मेरे पास एक बैक्टीरियल सेल है जिसकी साइज है, कंसिडर करो x नैनोमीटर। ओके, आई एम seeing this under microscope and I am seeing the image, एक जो माइक्रोस्कोप के नीचे मैं देख रही हूँ, मुझे उसकी मैग्निफिकेशन तो पता है। आई विल बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड द मैग्निफिकेशन ऑफ माइक्रोस्कोप। कंसिडर करो उसकी मैग्निफिकेशन 100x है, मतलब ये जो x नैनोमीटर साइज का जो ऑब्जेक्ट है, ये मुझे अब 100 नैनोमीटर साइज का दिखेगा। किसके अंदर? माइक्रोस्कोप के अंदर। फिर मैं क्या करूंगी, माइक्रोस्कोप में देयर इज अ मेथड ऑफ अपॉइंटिंग स्केल व्हिच इज कॉल्ड माइक्रोमेट्री। वो स्केल में मैं नापूंगी एंड आई विल फाइंड इट आउट कि अगर वो स्केल में इसकी साइज 100 नैनोमीटर आ रही है, जो भी साइज इसका आएगा, समझो y z जो भी, I will divide this with the magnification value to then I can find out the value, actual value of the size of cell. वो बैक कैलकुलेशन किया जाता है। आपने जो 3D मॉडल बनाया है उसमें समझो 20 व्हाट आई कैन से मिलीमीटर आया है लेंथ, तो आपको देखनी पड़ेगी कितनी मैग्निफिकेशन आपने किया है। तो 20 मिलीमीटर को मैग्निफिकेशन से डिवाइड करोगे, so you will get it to know the length of the or the width of the DNA is 2 nanometers. So this is the way back calculation is done. It's a tedious process, not done in one day. And obtaining image, that to foolproof image, they have to perform the same experiment, same imaging technique, and check it 1,000 times to make sure that this is the correct structural depiction of DNA. So it blends chemistry, it blends biology, and it is blending physics too. So this is not job of only a biologist or only a chemist or only a physicist. कौन सी केमिकल किससे कौन से बॉन्ड से कनेक्टेड है, दैट इज जॉब ऑफ केमिस्ट। Structure of DNA and its implication is for biology because it is a part of biological system, and physicists help in the image formation by using the technique that is X-ray crystallography. That is why I suggest when you will be like passing after grade 12, you will go to different stream. Maybe like biology students think of taking biology as in medical. Whichsoever stream you are taking, nowadays science is not about only one subject. It is about taking all subjects. आप अगर ये बोलोगे कि नहीं भाई मैं तो बायोलॉजिस्ट हूँ, मुझे फिजिक्स बिल्कुल नहीं आता है, that's not done. There are streams like biophysics. You need to have basic idea about physics, so that it's about subject integration. Because जब कोई मतलब एक्सपेरिमेंट होता है तब ऐसा नहीं सोचा जाता है, जैसे आपने ईसीजी तो पढ़ा होगा, have you ever started thought about ECG and studied about it in lower grades?
Yes ma'am, in 11th.
तो वो किसने डिस्कवर किया होगा, बायोलॉजिस्ट ने या फिजिसिस्ट ने? इट्स अ कॉमन एफर्ट, है ना? So that is how, like, it's a blending of all subject, and that's what is very important. Blending of imagination, blending of ideas. So is the difference between A, B and Z DNA clear to all of you?
Yes ma'am.
So now we are going to talk about something which is called DNA supercoiling. So what do we mean by this word supercoiling? I wish to share with you people that DNA is a very, very coiled structure. It's actually is coiled up to an extent that long piece of DNA can be fit into a very small size nucleus. The total size of human genome is so huge, but if you like look into the structure of DNA, you can see that it is packed in a very, very small structure. So let us have a look into how DNA is packed and how supercoiling is done in a way that large size of DNA can be accommodated into a small nucleus, which is having almost 1/100 size of a cell. अगर एक सेल की जितनी साइज है, out of that approximately 1/100 times छोटा होता है. Nucleus is that much small. So we will talk about DNA supercoiling. So that means underwinding of the DNA strand. But the first level of coiling, second level of coiling, third level of coiling. So supercoiling is very much important. Now, how this coiling or supercoiling should be? It should be in a way that जब चाहिए वो DNA का part can be used. Supercoiling should not be in a way कि इतना कॉइल हो कि भाई आपको जब प्रोटीन सिंथेसिस करनी है या डीएनए से कोई इंस्ट्रक्शन लेनी है, वो इतना कॉइल हो कि वो अंदर की तरफ वो चीज है that it is not exposed. But supercoiling चाहिए भी. Why? Because it is reducing the space and more amount of DNA can be packed. इसीलिए पता है when I don't know if like you have seen the karyotype diagram of like organisms in grade 11 cell division. There is a part in metaphase stage we measure or study the structure of chromosome, that is called karyotype. If you look into the organism who is having more number of chromosome, less is the number of or size of the chromosome. For example, as a human being, जिनके पास 46 chromosomes है, उनकी chromosomes की size will be smaller than the size of chromosomes of onion cell or even pea plant. Why? Because more amount of genetic material to be packed in the nucleus. Okay. So how this supercoiling is done? Let's have a look. If you look into the structure of metaphase chromosome, you can see that each chromosomes are having 2 chromatids. So how this DNA strand is converted into chromosome structure, that is what is about DNA supercoiling. This model of DNA supercoiling is also known as solenoid model. Why solenoid? Because the solenoid structures is formed. So how supercoiling is done? Consider karo, this is the DNA thread. It is coiled around a histone protein. So what is this histone protein? Histone is a basic protein which is made up of 8 monomers. So let us learn about the I hope you are aware of the fact that histone is present only in eukaryotes. So we are talking here about the supercoiling of DNA in eukaryotes. Prokaryotes also have coiling, but they don't have like exact chromosomal structure or nucleus present in them. And generally they have non-histone proteins. So histone is what? It's a basic protein. So it is made up of an octamer. Octamer means it's made up of 8 monomer. So what are these monomers? These are H1, H2A, H2B, H3, So all of these are present in number to form the histone octamer. अब आप पूछोगे कि मैम फिर इसका क्या काम है? This is actually making the core structure, and this part is known as linker. So how they are arranged? Consider these octamers are making a spherical structure like this. Now what happens is DNA strand is coiled around it 2 times. एक बार ऐसे जाके इसको कॉइल करके वापस से जाके वापस, and the part where like the DNA strand is entering and like coming out around this histone core protein stays the H1 protein that is called linker. So this is the linker, that is H1, and this is made up of the octamer. So this is how histone macromolecule, I can say, exists. It's a polymer of these structures. So यहाँ आप देख सकते हैं कि DNA strand is coiling around each of these histone proteins, and DNA, which is approximately 2 nanometer in diameter, once it is coiling with the histone protein, and these coils further coil, मतलब consider करो एक histone protein के चारों ओर इसने coiling कर लिया. Now many such coils will again coil. ऐसे करके वो आपस में they are coiling. I will show you a nice video of it later on. It will be very easy for you to understand there because it will be a 3D video. So they will further coil to form a nucleosome structure which is having diameter of 11 nanometer. This nucleosome structure further coiled to have a 30 nanometer fiber, which further coiled to form a 300 nanometer structure, and this 300 nanometer structures coiled to give you chromatid, and 2 chromatids are combined to give you chromosome. So can you understand the level of coiling? I can explain it with the in terms of जैसे आप होलसेल व्यापारियों के पास जाएंगे, so you will find boxes of thread. हम एक सिंगल थ्रेड खरीदते हैं, समझो व्हाइट कलर का थ्रेड मैं खरीद रही हूँ. That thread is the DNA, and thread के अंदर जो कागज से बना हुआ एक सिलिंड्रिकल स्ट्रक्चर होता है, that is histone protein. So what they do, they like small sellers, they put in one box, consider करो 10 thread के packs हैं. Now these 10 thread containing packs are filled in larger boxes. वो बड़ा वाला बॉक्स वापस से और बड़े वाले बॉक्स में, ऐसे करके जो फैक्ट्री है वहां पे बड़े बॉक्स में और छोटे बॉक्स, छोटे बॉक्स में और छोटे बॉक्स, उसके अंदर और छोटे बॉक्स, इस ऑर्डर में जैसे चीजें पैकिंग होती है. सिमिलरली डीएनए स्ट्रक्चर में कॉइलिंग, देन फर्दर कॉइलिंग, देन फर्दर कॉइलिंग, फर्दर कॉइलिंग. So this further coiling is making the chromosome structure possible, and that's why we call it not coiling of DNA, we call it super coiling of DNA. Anyone any doubt over here? So we learned about the solenoid model, the histone octamer. Tomorrow we will learn about the RNA. Anyone any question?
No, ma'am.
So let's